editors of MotorWeek and Cars.com. New Car Preview 2014.
Hello, I'm John Davis from MotorWeek.
And I'm Joe Weisenfelder from Cars.com. Welcome to the New Car Preview 2014.
Over the next hour, we'll show you what's coming down the highway in new cars and trucks for the 2014 model year.
We'll also take a few side roads for advice on new car shopping, why they are the safest ever,
and how they can be made even safer. That's why we're here at the proving grounds of the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety,
where we have assembled many of the brightest stars of the new car model year.
You know, Joe, when I was growing up, each new car introduction was a huge deal. My parents would take me to the dealerships for the fall unveilings. There were banners waving, bands playing. It was a real celebration.
Well, John, today new cars are introduced every month of the year, often at auto shows, and the internet guarantees that details instantly go viral. Still, for many consumers, the tradition of fall being the start of a new car year still hangs on.
And you know, even if you're really in the market for something practical like a sedan or utility, it still seems that nothing piques just about everyone's interest that's headed to a dealership like performance cars.
It's true, but performance cars are not what they used to be.
No, they're better. They've been redefined for the kind of total performance that a modern world demands, delivering exceptional speed, handling, and braking, while bowing to consumer demands for fuel economy, comfort, entertainment, and of course, safety. And when it comes to performance for this new car year, there is only one place to start. No performance car has been as highly anticipated as the 7th generation Corvette, and it arrives as the 2014 Chevrolet Corvette Stingray, the most powerful standard Corvette yet.
When the pictures first started rolling into the new Corvette, there were certain things I wasn't quite sure about, but now that I see it in person, all systems go.
The new Vette takes some of its styling cues from another Chevrolet performance legend, Camaro. It makes its own news for 2014 with the return of the Z28. It promises to be the most track-worthy Camaro to date, packing 500 horsepower into a tweaked and tightened body, and it sure looks the part. Meanwhile, Jaguar is set to revive some of the brand's legendary E-Type hype with the 2014 F-Type. But with a 495 horsepower supercharged V8 under the hood, this cat is clearly about more than just looks.
The early reviews are in for the F-Type and people seem to love it, and it just might be a real competitor for the Porsche 911.
Chrysler's SRT division knows a little something about American-built performance, and for 2014, they're going on the attack with the Viper TA. The Time Attack is a road course-focused Viper with updates both inside and out with one purpose in mind, lowering lap times. Highly controversial when launched, the Porsche Panamera has hit all the right buttons for a maximum European sports sedan, and for 2014 is updated by adding long wheelbase models as well as a plug-in hybrid. A third-generation Cayman also arrives for 2014, riding on the same sharpened chassis as the recently revamped Porsche Boxster. Both 275 horsepower standard and 325 horsepower S versions will be available. And if that's not enough for you, maybe a new 911 Turbo or Turbo S will be. But you don't have to spend big bucks for big performance, as Subaru's STI group proves with the BRZ STI. It adds more than just much-needed additional power to the BRZ. It also gets a tweaked and tightened suspension that should make it even more potent on the track. But if you need 4 doors, the Subaru WRX is all new for 2014, looking more aggressive than ever. But no longer a part of the Impreza lineup, the WRX requires a whole new nasty streak. BMW on its part has a few tricks up their sleeves for 2014, chief among them a new 4 Series that replaces the 3 Series Coupe. Low and lean, this Bavarian brawler will share much of the same powertrains as the 3 Series sedan, but its personality is all its own. Not to be outdone, Mercedes-Benz enters the small car market in the U.S. with the CLA, only it does so with a bang thanks to in-house tuner AMG. The CLA 45 AMG features all-wheel drive and the most powerful production turbo four-cylinder ever at 355 horsepower. Oh, baby! Always a contender, Audi goes cabrio on one of their hottest coupes, the RS5. Who wouldn't want a piece of this slick-looking Teutonic muscle car, all 450 horsepower and quattroed up? So whether you're looking for top-down, high-output thrills or back-to-basics bang for your buck, there's a lot to look forward to in performance cars for 2014. Coming up later on New Car Preview 2014. Performance cars may be what we live for, but not many of us actually live with them on a daily basis. For that, we often turn to a utility vehicle.
It doesn't matter if it's herding the kids to school, carpooling to work, or heading out for weekend getaways. Here's what's coming in family haulers in 2014. Of all utility brands, Jeep has the most news for 2014, starting with an updated Grand Cherokee. Already a very popular SUV, the Grand gains new style, an 8-speed transmission, a turbo diesel V6 option, plus a high-performance SRT version. Less grand, but just as important, is the return of Jeep's Cherokee nameplate to America. It's placed on a very slickly styled compact crossover. While most buyers will stay on-road, the new Cherokee is trail-rated and can even be fitted with an active rear differential. Looking for a little more luxury? The Lincoln MKC might fit the bill. This compact crossover, based on the Ford Escape, aims to make Lincoln a more obvious premium choice by not being any less luxurious than its larger stablemates. If it's a lot more luxury you've got in mind, set your sights on the Land Rover Range Rover Sport.
It may be the family Rover with 3 rows of available seating, but it packs tons of both on and off-road performance, as well as the lavishness you would expect in a Land Rover.
A redesigned Acura MDX is here, sporting super handling all-wheel drive, jewel-eye LED headlights, and more aerodynamic styling. Like most Acuras, high-tech is highly present with the new generation of AcuraLink. For high-performance utility buyers, the long-rumored Porsche Macan is finally a reality. Most fans are beyond Porsche being in the SUV business, and we're okay with it too, provided the results are as good as we expect from this model. Look for Cayenne-style performance in a smaller package. And speaking of performance, Audi adds a generous helping of it to their Q5 crossover. The 354 horsepower SQ5 is the first Audi crossover to get the S performance treatment, and our only comment is, what took you so long? 2014 sees the arrival of the 3rd generation of BMW's X5 sports activity vehicle. And in a nod to buyers not interested in hitting the trail with their high-dollar hauler, it will now be available in rear-wheel drive as well as all-wheel drive. For the most practical SUV shopper, Toyota continues their 2-pronged midsize approach with the urban family-oriented Highlander crossover and the more rugged 4Runner SUV that has adventurous families in mind. Both feature smoother designs, and thankfully for the off-roaders, the 4Runner keeps its body-on-frame status. Not quite as rugged looking, but almost as capable is the new Subaru Forester. Over the years, the Forester has become more mainstream in both appearance and appeal, and this new one undoubtedly continues that trend.
The Forester has grown with its 2014 redesign, but it was the SUV's usability that really won our editors over.
And one brand that really needs a boost is Mitsubishi, and they are hoping an all-new Outlander will do the trick. Unlike some other compacts that have dropped their V6 and third-row options, the sporty-looking Outlander forges ahead with both. And speaking of sporty looks, an updated Kia Sorento arrives for 2014 with sleek new sheet metal, an improved interior, and a new 3.3-liter V6 engine. Meanwhile, Kia's urban crossover, the Soul, is all new. Slightly larger, it retains cute 2-box styling, while the interior gets a nice upgrade in functionality. Nissan goes rogue in 14 with an all-new Rogue compact crossover. Now packing room for 7 with an available third row, the new Rogue looks to continue the recent Nissan trend of offering more room, features, and technology for less money. But for the ultimate in family hauling, it's still hard to beat a minivan. And while many brands have left the segment, Honda is doubling down with a revised Honda Odyssey. Our favorite new feature? It has to be the onboard vacuum, ready to suck up the crumbs after you leave Grandma's house. And with that, we've arrived at the end of our look at what's coming to utility vehicles in the coming year.
While there are more women working in the auto industry than ever, the majority of engineers and designers are still men. Yet when it comes time to purchasing a new vehicle for the family, men are often not the decision makers.
Exactly. Women are increasingly calling the shots when it comes to a new car purchase. And whether they are wives, moms, or single, they have very definite ideas about what makes a new car design great.
That's right, Joe. And would you believe that 2/3 of all new cars are actually purchased by women? Hi, I'm Kristen Varela with Cars.com.
And I'm Yolanda Vasquez from Motor Week. We've had to test drive and review hundreds of cars over the years. Ain't that right, girlfriend?
It's true. So we know a thing or two about what women want in cars.
So let us show you what we're working with. As an automotive journalist, Varela has logged many miles behind the wheel of test vehicles. And I've done the same, writing car reviews and reports on a variety of consumer stories. While we both agree it's impossible for all women to want the same thing in a new vehicle, there is common ground on what features are most important to us.
I think safety is incredibly important for me as a mom.
We both agree a large number of standard safety features and good crash test scores tops our must-have list. We also look for versatility, reliability, a nice blend of form and function, good gas mileage, and affordable pricing.
I'm a comparison shopper. I want to make sure that I've covered all the bases, make sure there isn't something else out there that's just a little bit better.
According to the 2013 Mintel Car Buying Report, a man on average spends 5.5 weeks researching a new vehicle, while a woman spends 6.5 weeks. That extra time may include reviewing the number and placement of airbags in a vehicle. For example, we both like the knee airbag in the Hyundai Santa Fe and the center airbag between the driver and passenger seats in the Buick Enclave,
which keeps each of us protected from one another in the event of a side impact crash.
The Enclave garners bonus points from us with their full-length side curtain airbags and government crash test scores that are among the best.
But overall, this is a pretty stylish ride for a lot of women to consider, and busy moms.
Yes.
Yep, we like it. 2 thumbs up.
It's swell.
Thanks to AutoNation Buick GMC and Shortline Hyundai and Kia in Colorado, Kristen and I were able to review several vehicles. We found the new Kia Sorento has the right mix of form and function.
Starting in the mid-30s, it offers some features that you just don't see in other vehicles in that same price range. For example, the option of air-conditioned front seats.
And the option of third-row seating gives a family even more flexibility.
So we're here with the Kia Soul, and this is definitely one of Kia's best-selling models, and for lots of reasons. What do you like about this car?
Well, it definitely stands out in the design department, doesn't it?
Not to mention it has lots of cargo space for its size and comes standard with Bluetooth and USB aux input jacks.
I like this car. I mean, you know, I don't know if I'd get it for myself right now, but maybe 10, 20 years ago, hint, hint, this would have been my ride.
Kia has made some great strides when it comes to marketing their products to women. The Korean car manufacturer says over half of their buyers are female, moving to its sister brand Hyundai. They've also turned up the dial on their offerings. This 2013 Hyundai Sonata Hybrid is a favorite for us.
One thing that I love about Hyundai in general as a brand is that all of their safety features come standard. So you're not forced to have to choose between your budget and your family's safety.
And that's important. And with a combined 37 mpg fuel economy rating, it's easy to see why this stylish, affordable, mid-size car appeals to many women drivers.
This one was not as bland and uninspiring as the other vehicles,
right? It definitely does catch your eye as it's driving past you on the highway.
Car makers, both domestic and import, are realizing the buying power women have and are figuring out ways to appeal to them.
What is it going to take to get the system to change? I have seen change over the past 10 years, which is fantastic.
And while these changes may not be as noticeable to the average consumer, rest assured, automotive mavens like us are on the job to make sure every new car gets our Girl Power seal of approval.
For what's new in trucks, stay tuned to New Car Preview 2014.
Year after year, the one body style that dominates the car market with a contender from virtually every brand is the traditional four-door sedan.
You can go from the cheapest car available in the U.S. all the way up to some of the most expensive hardware on the road, and just about everything in between. Here's a look at what's coming to sedans for 2014. The most dynamic new family sedan for 2014 is without a doubt the Mazda 6. While it has often had a styling edge over Camry and Accord, this latest version makes it game, set, match. Mazda will also serve up an Ace, a diesel option which should manage close to 40 miles per gallon. Another fashionable four-door that has plenty of substance and style is the Hyundai Sonata. 2014 updates include ever more expressive styling outside and more premium features inside. But when it comes to overflowing luxury, Hyundai's Equus can't be beat on price. Look for the Posh-O-meter to top out for this revamped luxury liner. Hyundai has also been sharing more of their spoils with Kia as their sister brand moves upmarket with an all-new flagship sedan, the Cadenza.
Kia has been on quite a roll lately. Now let's see if they can continue that by rolling into the premium sedan market.
More familiar luxury with a notable shift toward performance comes from the all-new Lexus IS. This rakish compact takes on the aggressive design theme of the larger Lexus GS, without leaving behind any of the lavishness you expect from the brand. And just when we got used to the Infiniti G37's unique take on the luxury sports sedan segment, for 2014, Infiniti heads back to its roots and renames the compact sports sedan the Q50. Along with the name comes sleeker sheet metal surrounding even more refinement. One car name that has been around much longer is Chevrolet Impala. But 2014 sees an all-new car that is unlike any big Chevy before it. Based on the smooth-riding platform of the Cadillac XTS, this Impala will be streaking past predators with ease, all while wearing the most dynamic sheet metal yet for a bow-tie four-door. Chevrolet is also fielding an updated Malibu. New just last year, sales haven't been as strong as hoped. This early rework adds more rear seat room, more efficiency, plus a taste of the Impala's bolder styling. Making it a three-pronged sedan attack for Chevrolet in 2014 is a new rear-drive performance four-door, their first since 1996, the SS. Like the Pontiac G8, it's based on Australia's Holden Commodore with a Corvette-derived V8. The SS will also be circling NASCAR ovals in the year ahead. American-built rear-drive performance sedans took a huge leap forward with the Cadillac CTS. Now with an all-new CTS for 2014, look for an equally big jolt to the segment.
The CTS has been a favorite for many Cadillac drivers, and its bold new redesign continues the evolution of Cadillac luxury.
When it comes to blending luxury and technology into a flagship cocktail, the all-new Acura RLX is a standout. With treats like precision all-wheel steer and jewel-eye LED headlights, look for the RLX to make an even bigger name for itself. But for the ultimate in precision luxury, all roads lead to the 2014 Mercedes-Benz S-Class. With the Maybach brand now history, Mercedes hopes to elevate the S-Class to a similar level of extravagance, but with more high-tech. Whether you're conquering the freeway or hanging out in the back seat, you'll find plenty to love in this full-size cruiser. Four-door in your future? Well, looks like there will be plenty to choose from in 2014. If there's one automotive segment that has changed the most in the past 20 years, it's light-duty pickup trucks.
Not only have they gone from job site necessities to family personal use vehicles, as we've seen crew cab models become the biggest seller in the segment, but recently fuel economy, not payload or performance, has become the biggest area of competition. Without a doubt, the biggest 2014 truck news comes from Chevrolet with an all-new Silverado full-size pickup. And when it comes to fuel mileage, this bow tie brood came to play with a 5.3-liter V8 that out-fuel economies all other V8s in the segment and even Ford's EcoBoost V6. And it does all that while still being able to out-tow them as well, with a max towing of 11,500 pounds.
We're thrilled with GM's new truck. They've changed both the outside and the inside, but it's the interior that really shines.
With a new Silverado comes an all-new corporate cousin, GMC Sierra. While they share all the important stuff, the Sierra does get its own decidedly more macho-looking face. Details include new rear bumper corner steps, easy lift tailgate, and inlaid doors for the quietest pickup on the market. In just a few short years, the Toyota Tundra has made a lot of noise in the full-size truck market, and the redesigned 2014 Tundra should keep that streak going. The chassis remains the same, as do powertrains, but they're wrapped in more pro-grade looking cabs, helping Tundra distance itself from the softer image of before. The grille is truly massive, which is the way American truck buyers prefer them.
The new Tundra is large and in charge for sure, and it should do a lot to boost its image in the full-size truck ranks.
Chrysler's Ram truck brand will be even more fuel efficient with the first turbo diesel in a light-duty pickup. The Ram 1500 will offer a 3-liter Eco Diesel V6, the same one as found in the Jeep Grand Cherokee. And who knows, it might just start a trend. And while pickup trucks are doing more and more family duty, a steady stream of new commercial vans are giving working men and women a true alternative by packing a lot of job-friendly features into easy-to-operate packages. Once again, it's Ram setting the tone with their new line of ProMaster Euro-style commercial vans. Built on the well-proven Fiat Ducato platform, there are a wide variety of engines and bodies available, one to suit any task. Ford also has this market clearly in its sights with a new Transit full-size commercial van that will finally replace the venerable E-Series vans. Also based on a European design, the Transit features 4 models with 3 roof heights and available EcoBoost power to help get any job done efficiently. Ford already sells the smaller Transit Connect here, but it gets updated for 2014 with a sleeker design, EcoBoost power of its own, and even 2 passenger-friendly wagon models. Joining the Transit Connect in the small commercial van segment is the Nissan NV200. The NV200 offers lots of practicality in a small space, so much so that GM will also sell a Chevrolet version. Be prepared to see many Nissan NVs tackle one of the toughest jobs of all as the official New York City taxicab. So whether you need a truck for work or play or both, it looks like there are plenty of new 2014 options to help you finish your to-do list in record time. More on the Corvette Stingray later on New Car Preview 2014. These days, when customers show up at a dealer to buy a new car, they come prepared. They've researched the internet and often know more about the car they're looking at than the salesperson.
And if things go well, a test drive comes next. But it shouldn't be just a formality nor a trip around the block. Let's find out what to look for that first time behind the wheel.
Sooner or later, we always have to buy a replacement car. Now, whether it's a new car, a used car, whether it's a truck or a van or a passenger car, no matter what it is, one of the most important things that you have to do is a road test. And before you do that road test, you want to do a walk around the vehicle. You're looking for obvious things like paint overspray under the hood and various things that are, well, they may not be positioned right and stuff like that. Once you get all of that done, if the car passes, it's time for a road test. Once you've done your walk around, and if you find no problems, get in the car and start checking things for comfort. Things like the seat belt. Can you easily reach it? Can you buckle it easily? And does it fit properly? Then look at things like the rear view mirror. Can you adjust it? Is the visibility good? How about the pedals? Can you get the seat in a position where you can easily reach the pedals? The big thing in here is to make sure that all of the ergonomics, all of the things that you use on a daily basis, the visibility and so on, that it all matches you. Then, if it does, time for a road test. On your road test, you want to drive under as many conditions as you possibly can that mimic what you do in your normal driving situations. In other words, you want to drive at highway if that's what you primarily do, but you also want to mix. You always want to drive the vehicle at low speeds as well as high speeds. You want some smooth roads, you want some rough roads. You want to make sure that under just about any condition that you can find, that the car feels good to you. Now, one of the things you don't want to do is you don't want to go on one of those pre-programmed courses that the salesperson wants to take you on. Make up your own, and if need be, why, figure out a course before you even go to the dealership. Now, another thing that you want is that you want to go to maybe a parking garage where you can park nose in and back out and see how it feels to maneuver in tight places. Also, go onto a side street and parallel park the vehicle, because some cars are much easier to parallel park than others. Along through all of this, you want to make sure of how the car feels, how it accelerates in traffic, how your visibility is, how all of the ergonomics of the vehicle are, how they work out. Can you reach everything? Can you see everything? Are the seats comfortable? Do the various controls work smoothly, and so on? And remember one thing, that there are lots of cars, new cars, used cars, doesn't make any difference. There are lots of them out there. So if this is not the car for you, well, don't settle.
Earlier in the show, we took a quick look at the all-new 7th generation Chevrolet Corvette. But Corvette is such an American icon that we wanted to spend a little more time learning what the new two-seater is all about.
Absolutely, Joe. America's original world-class sports car is not only all new, but it's innovative and sets the tone for the entire domestic auto industry. So let's take an in-depth look at the 2014 Stingray. More than any other car, the new Chevrolet Corvette Stingray embodies American muscle. Bold, brash, and unapologetic in its mission to provide the most performance for the least amount of money. And while the design is clearly evolutionary, the new Stingray Coupe and convertible have acquired a nasty streak. Slightly longer and wider than before, a new aluminum frame with carbon fiber for the hood and the coupe's roof panel help keep weight gain to a minimum. But when it comes to this beautiful beast, there's much more than meets the eye. You know, Joe, the thing I like best about the new Stingray is that it's not only a great-looking sports car, it's been designed to drive like a great sports car. I mean, everything from the low-weight chassis to the 4-piston Brembo brakes at each corner, and even the brake cooling vents. They're real, not some styling add-on.
Exactly. Things are functional. The vent in the hood also extracts heat, minimizes lift in the front. There are vents back here for the manual transmission, which is in the rear, and it is a 7-speed manual. 6 nice tight ratios for you to drive with, and that 7th efficient one for highway cruises.
And automatic rev matching. We don't see that on a lot of cars, and this one's very convenient to use with the paddle shifters.
Yeah, and one thing they really needed to do was improve the interior quality to make it match the quality of the driving experience and the exterior, and they did it with better leathers, inoffensive plastic, really much better. Can we talk about the taillights, please?
It's the one controversy.
Yeah, some people don't like the taillights because they aren't round, and Corvettes have had round taillights. I say they look great on this car. Icons have to evolve too.
And I agree with you 100%. Well, no matter the shape of the taillights, it wouldn't be a Vette without small block V8 power. And here the new Stingray certainly doesn't disappoint. This 6.2-liter next-gen LT1 cranks out 455 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque standard. Add the performance exhaust, and you tack 5 onto both numbers. Good for a 0 to 60 romp of just 3.8 seconds. The cam may still be in the block, but direct injection, variable valve timing, and active fuel management add some fuel economy icing to your high-performance cake. Nearly 30 mpg's highway. Pricing has always set the Corvette apart from rivals, and it still does with a base window sticker of just $51,995. And an even bigger bargain is the $2,800 Z51 Performance Package. With dry sump oiling, performance ratios, a transmission cooler, electronic limited slip differential, 45mm monotube shocks with available magnetic ride control, upgraded brake rotors and cooling, and forged aluminum wheels. 19s up front, 20s in the rear. It's the most powerful standard Vette yet. Gets better fuel economy than ever before, and finally a world-class interior to match its world-class performance. Consider us stung. It really doesn't matter what class or size of vehicle you're talking about these days. For consumers, it's all about the MPGs.
Lots of progress has been made in the past few years with hybrid and plug-in vehicles, and they are certainly no longer a rarity on the street. But there is still much more efficiency to be had.
So let's see what shade Green Motoring takes for 2014.
While they don't boast the biggest numbers when it comes to outright fuel economy, some of the most meaningful fuel economy gains are made in family-sized utilities. Case in point, the Nissan Pathfinder Hybrid. It combines a 2.5-liter supercharged inline-4 engine with a 15-kilowatt electric motor for 26 miles per gallon combined city highway fuel economy, while still being able to tow 3,500 pounds.
The additional fuel economy is definitely a plus, but the fact that you're not sacrificing any interior space is the real bonus.
That powertrain also finds its way into the new Infiniti QX60 Hybrid, making it the fuel economy leader in 3-row luxury crossovers. As part of Infiniti's new naming strategy, the QX replaces the high-style JX launched just last year. And much like the Pathfinder, its newly acquired fuel economy bonus will come without any compromise to functionality or luxury. Speaking of luxury, GM is expanding their extended range EV platform with the plug-in treatment being applied to the Cadillac ELR Coupe. Based on the Chevrolet Volt, the ELR's electric range is about 35 miles before a 1.4-liter inline-4 engine kicks on to take you close to 300 miles farther before you need to plug in or refuel. Sporty two-door styling and Cadillac luxury means this energy-efficient high-ender is not just for hypermilers. 2014 sees Subaru's first hybrid ever, the XV Crosstrek Hybrid. This rough-and-ready light hybrid crossover pairs a 148 horsepower 2-liter Boxer 4 engine with a 13 horsepower electric motor to boost fuel economy to 31 miles per gallon combined. And keeping with Subaru's Go Anywhere wagon tradition, all-wheel drive is standard, making the XV Crosstrek Hybrid the most fuel-efficient of all 4x4 hybrids. While Honda currently has a plug-in Accord available in limited markets, 2014 sees the return of the Accord Hybrid to the lineup and is the first Honda hybrid to be assembled in the US. As for a hybrid that goes way above and beyond, there's the Volkswagen XL1. The two-seat XL1 is a 2-cylinder diesel plug-in hybrid capable of 200 miles per gallon thanks to an ultralight carbon fiber chassis and the most aerodynamic body ever on a production car. While VW has yet to confirm that the XL1 will be sold in North America, one can only hope. Always the underdog, Diesel gets a new boost from Audi with the Q5, A6, and A7 all adding the TDI treatment. So there's plenty of torque to go around for 2014. As for new all-electric vehicles, Chevrolet goes small with the Spark EV. With a range of more than 80 miles, the lithium-ion powered Spark EV's 119 mpge combined rating makes it the most efficient consumer electric car. Both the 5-door exterior and 4-place interior are very similar to the normal gas-powered Spark, but the best news is a price just under $20,000 after tax credits or an ultra-cheap lease.
Chevy says with the government federal tax credit, the Spark EV starts at under $20,000, very affordable for an electric vehicle.
BMW joins the EV party with the i3, and though the look is a departure for the brand, interior quality is still here in spades. An 80 to 100 mile cruising range only sweetens the pot. Tesla is on quite a roll with their Model S all-electric luxury sports sedan, struggling to meet demand for their high-mileage high performer. And they should keep that momentum fully charged with the new Model X crossover. It sports 3 rows of versatile seating, optional all-wheel drive for all-weather practicality, and an available 85 kilowatt-hour battery pack for 0 to 60s in under 5 seconds. With hybrids, plug-ins, and full EVs, plus diesel and alt-fuel choices, there are more options than ever for maximizing efficiency. And a lot to look at for 2014 when it comes to cars that go the extra mile. Stay tuned for Safety First by Design on New Car Preview 2014. There's been quite a transformation among small cars in recent years. The majority of entrants can no longer be viewed as boring, cheap transportation.
That's for sure, Joe. Today's compacts, subcompacts, and mini cars not only over-deliver on technology, they provide impressive fuel economy, confident ride and handling, with better materials inside and more eye-catching sheet metal outside. If there's one small car that has been the embodiment of boring at its best, it's the Toyota Corolla. Despite the lack of visual and driving dynamics, sales have always been huge, as the compact Corolla remains the #1 selling nameplate of all time. But it looks like the 2014 redesign will finally be moving forward by bringing some excitement to the nameplate thanks to a seriously sharper exterior design and a more engaging driving experience to match. Mazda's Mazda 3 has always been known for its fun-to-drive nature, and the Zoom Zoom spirit continues in an all-new third generation of its best-selling vehicle. Of course, it gets the full Sky Active treatment for increased fuel economy, but it also gets more room inside for added comfort. While the Kia brand has been very successful in spicing up most of their lineup in recent years, their compact Forte hasn't quite gotten with the program, until now. Look for the 2014 Forte to make some severe headway into this segment with a 3-prong redesign that includes a 4-door sedan, 5-door hatchback, and a 2-door coupe with a K. Each Euro-styled Forte is packed with premium features for a not-so-premium price.
The Forte is in a really tough category, but Kia has made it more than competitive.
Another small car of note is an all-new one, the Nissan Versa Note. This stylish subcompact is singing a whole new tune as it delivers a ton of technology as well as class-leading interior room to rev up the 5-door subcompact market. Another car that looks to be a real party on wheels is the 2014 Ford Fiesta ST. In true Euro-style fashion, the subcompact Fiesta ST will be available as a 5-door hatchback only. Look for its 1.6-liter EcoBoost i4 to crank out almost 200 horsepower. All of the necessary go-fast styling goodies will be present, from the large air intakes up front to the big wind-manipulating spoiler in back, bringing a little fast and furious to your daily commute. More proof that U.S. brands no longer lag far behind the imports when it comes to small cars is the Chevrolet Cruze compact sedan. After setting a fast sales pace following its 2011 debut here, this 2014 Chevrolet Cruze Clean Diesel is bound to catch another wave. Powered by a 2-liter turbo diesel that delivers over 40 miles per gallon highway, there is finally an American alternative to the Volkswagen Jetta TDI. Qute goes mainstream with the launch of the 2014 Fiat 500L. It may look familiar, but this Cinquecento is 26 inches longer and 6 inches taller than the Fiat 500. That makes for almost double the size inside, enough interior volume to bump the Minicar 500 to the government's large car status.
It's still a fun car to drive even though it has 2 more doors, and it makes a cool personal statement. And you can bring your kids along too.
Mitsubishi continues the brand's slow but steady comeback in America as it re-enters the subcompact car ranks with this all-new Mirage. And though it's not striking to look at, it offers outstanding fuel economy starting at a well-equipped bargain price of $14,000. Today's small cars do indeed deliver, whether it's high fuel economy or high style. You'll find plenty to choose from in the coming year. Car buyers are researching their purchases more thoroughly than ever, thanks to internet sites like yours, Joe. And one of the most important factors to be weighed when choosing a car is how well it protects occupants in a crash.
Until the crash-proof car is perfected, cars need to be designed to protect their occupants in all sorts of accidents.
And the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety is largely responsible for the advanced level of crashworthiness for cars sold in America today.
You know, many of those all-important safety ratings are determined right inside this building where the Institute conducts its crash testing program.
The Insurance Institute for Highway Safety is funded entirely by U.S. insurers. The goal is to reduce the deaths, the injuries, and the property damage that occur in motor vehicle crashes on our nation's roads.
For many years, the primary frontal crash that the Institute performed was a frontal offset where close to half of the front of the test car would strike a deformable barrier. And that worked for a while. Now you are doing something called a small overlap test. What is that about?
What we discovered is that vehicles were doing well in our moderate overlap crash test. Yet, when we look at the real-world data, we saw that we still had thousands of people being seriously injured and killed in frontal crashes.
This vehicle was in the small overlap test. Can you show us what the results are here and how it might differ from the moderate overlap?
Well, what you can see is that in this crash test, the fender has been scraped off here. The wheel is lying down here. It was driven back into the hinge pillar of the door. Now, the important thing, and what's different about the small overlap, is you see this very stiff structure that's longitudinal in the vehicle is undamaged. That is one of the main energy-absorbing structures designed to protect you in a frontal crash, but it's been completely bypassed here.
Now, I notice it doesn't look like the side airbags went off in this car. It has torso airbags and curtains, but they didn't deploy.
Notice how this windshield pillar has been pushed back into the occupant compartment. If you had a curtain airbag that stayed in place to keep the occupant off of that, that would help protect you even with at least your head, even with this amount of intrusion. Now, on top of that, what you see here in this test is that the steering wheel has been pushed inboard, such that the dummy in our test barely interacts with that. So that airbag is supposed to absorb your body's energy in the crash.
But the Institute's work goes beyond just crash testing entire vehicles. Major components that affect occupant safety also get a critical review. The Institute's rear test is not a crash test so much as a seat test, correct?
That's right. In this lab here, we just mount the seat on a sled, and then we accelerate the seat with a dummy in it to mimic a relatively low to moderate speed rear crash test. We're just looking to see how well the seat protects you from whiplash injury.
Whiplash is the risk in a rear end low speed.
Right, and a lot of people think that this is, not an important issue, but if you think about it, the piece of safety equipment you're most likely to use in your car is going to be that head restraint, because people are always running into each other and, bumper to bumper traffic.
And in this case, a manufacturer can make a change pretty easily just by changing the seat. Determining if the whole car is as safe as it can be is not easy. That's why IAHS crash tests are so important. Can a consumer look at it and say, well, it has a lot of airbags, that'll ensure crashworthiness? Do we know just by saying, well, there are a lot of airbags, that's better than not?
All the airbags in the world don't help you if the front of the vehicle simply ends up in your lap in the occupant's compartment.
And that's something that only the actual dynamic crash testing can tell you.
Only dynamic crash testing can tell you, how that vehicle is going to perform in a real crash.
Later in the show, what's new in exotics on New Car Preview 2014.
Earlier in our look at small cars, we told you about the redesigned Toyota Corolla and its mission to bring some real excitement to the segment and, more importantly, to the Corolla name.
That's not an easy task for a perennial big seller that has to please so many different types of buyers. So let's take a more in-depth look at the all-new Corolla and see if it succeeds. Based on the Corolla's long-time success, a more dynamic design may not be necessary in order for the 11th generation Toyota Corolla to be a success, but it sure won't hurt. John, to be frank, the Corolla is a model that has needed a redesign for a long time.
Boy, you're right about that.
And redesigned it is, starting with the styling, much more modern. The previous version was very conservative. And the LED headlights, which are standard, that's modern, and it is really remarkable at a low price like the Corollas.
I'm really amazed that Toyota was able to stay so close to their Furia Auto Show concept, right down to the deep grille and the flared out lower fascia. It gives the car a very sporty look, and they've even put some of that in the powertrain because they've put a CVT transmission into this car, but it's not just any CVT.
It feels sportier because they've built in shift points, so it feels like a normal step gear transmission, but it still has the efficiency people have come to expect from a CVT.
And the interior is another major makeover.
Yeah, they've improved that a lot too. The materials are better. It's way, way more competitive.
More room in the back seat?
Yeah, 4 inches more wheelbase and a thinner front seat backrest have definitely made the legroom competitive where it hadn't been.
And when I look at the instrument panel, I don't see compact car. I see flagship Avalon with the piano black. It's really great looking.
Yeah, they aimed high and you can see it. While they didn't aim quite as high under the hood, two 1.8-liter inline-4 engines power the new Corolla, with Eco models getting new Valvematic variable timing that increases horsepower to 140 and delivers over 40 miles per gallon on the highway. With all of the impressive updates, you have to expect a slight increase in price over last year, with the Corolla now starting at $17,610. Corolla Eco models will start at $19,510. So it certainly appears that the 2014 Toyota Corolla transformation is a success. Now buyers will not only get the great reliability that the Corolla has always been known for, but now they'll be getting additional comfort and features wrapped in a much more stylish package. Corolla success indeed. Well, John, we've looked at just about every type of automotive category, sedans, trucks, utilities, but we're not quite done yet as we save the best for last.
You're right, Joe. We featured lots of great hardware on our show in this 2014 review, but what about those cars that few people get to own, but just about everybody dreams of? We're talking about exotics. So let's take a look at some of the rarest wheels headed our way this year. Italy's famed Maserati brand has big plans for a big increase in sales numbers, and this new Ghibli four-door is central to that plan. Based on a shortened version of the Quattroporte chassis, the midsize Ghibli will be the new entry-level model starting around $65,000. The Quattroporte itself is updated for 2014, going larger and adding a new SQ4 model that features a V6 engine and all-wheel drive. Of course, everyone thinks of Ferrari when it comes to exotic cars, and the prancing horse does not disappoint this year with the limited production LaFerrari. Only 499 of these 950 horsepower, street-legal, hand-built, hybrid-powered Italian missiles will be produced. So if you haven't put your order in already, good luck getting one.
Say what you want about the name, LaFerrari is a serious machine. With 950 horsepower coming from the hybrid powertrain, it's tough to argue with that.
Even rarer is this McLaren P1 with just 375 examples hitting the streets. This long-awaited successor to the McLaren F1 zips to 60 in less than 3 seconds, thanks to a 903 horsepower twin-turbo V8 hybrid engine, and may just help McLaren take pole position in the supercar wars. On the luxury side of exotics, we find a new Bentley Flying Spur. Adding updates from the latest Continental GT Speed means that weight is down and horsepower is up to 616, making it the most powerful Bentley four-door ever.
Styling cues now follow Bentley's Mulsanne sedan, and inside, the Flying Spur gets a number of multimedia updates which should keep it fresh, a big leap forward from the prior car.
The entry-level Bentley Continental GT V8 even gets a few upgrades, freshening its look while bumping horsepower up 21 to 521 for the S model. The Rolls-Royce brand operates in that same rare air as Bentley, and they have new hardware this year as well. It's called the Wraith, and it boasts all the hallmarks of Rolls-Royce performance and luxury. A V12 engine with 624 horsepower, a GPS-aided transmission, which can select proper gearing based on the road you're about to drive on, and an on-call valet. Aston Martin stands for sporty British motoring at its finest, and the new Vanquish is the latest example. After a 5-year hiatus, the Vanquish is back, and Aston Martin considers it their greatest car yet. With a new 12-cylinder engine and a carbon fiber body dripping with sex appeal, who are we to argue? For sheer fun, it looks like it'll be hard to match the 2014 Alfa Romeo 4C. Yes, Alfa is returning to the U.S. for real this time, and we can't wait to take a spin in this carbon fiber-tubbed 2,100-pound Cayman fighter. While it's true you don't have to spend a whole lot of money to have a whole lot of fun in a car, if you can afford to drop some large on any of these cars, your chances of having a seriously good time behind the wheel are guaranteed.
Well, there's certainly no shortage of new models headed our way for 2014. But what about further down the road?
Well, as we head into the near future, it's a given that cars will become more fuel efficient. But that doesn't mean they'll be any less exciting. So let's take a look at some of the vehicles headed your way for 2015 and beyond. Audi has announced it will join the onslaught of small premium sedans here in the U.S. with a 4-door version of the A3 and S3 subcompact. It will arrive here in the States as a 2015 model. And sharing the same NQB modular architecture will be an all-new Volkswagen Golf and GTI, including the first GTI with diesel power to come here to the States, the GTD.
GTI performance with TDI fuel economy, it's a winning combination.
And for a real driving thrill, be on the lookout for the Golf R, pushing nearly 300 horsepower and a sport-tuned everything.
While GM and Dodge have most of the pickup truck news for this year, look for the 2015 model year to be owned by an all-new Ford F-150. Will this bestseller look like this recently shown Atlas concept? Well, one can only hope.
GM does look to retain its stronghold on the full-size SUV segment, however, with an all-new Chevrolet Tahoe and Suburban and GMC Yukon lineups, all delivering more comfort, refinement, and efficiency.
Volvo is wowing everyone with this concept coupe. While the name couldn't be more vague, many are saying it foretells the return of the iconic P1800 of the 1960s and 70s. Rumored power is an inline 4-cylinder that's both turbocharged and supercharged and mated to an electric motor.
And while it's been making the auto show circuit for a few years now, it looks like the return of the original Japanese supercar, the Acura NSX, will finally be a reality for 2015. Featuring sport hybrid super handling all-wheel drive, the new NSX will run with a combination of V6 power to the rear wheels and electric motor power to the fronts.
We've waited years for Acura to bring back their supercar, and we can't wait to test out the innovative hybrid all-wheel drive system on the NSX.
Also boasting hybrid power based around a 608 horsepower V8 is the Porsche 918 Spyder. While only a lucky few will get to own this amazing piece of all-wheel drive Nürburgring beating Porsche hardware, look for its hybrid technology to filter down to other Porsches in the near future.
Bentley has been getting more serious when it comes to performance and has been getting cars on track to promote that fact. Well, the Continental GT3 is the latest, and there should be a production version to follow as early as 2015.
Looking to put a new charge in their performance image, BMW has cleared for production their high-styled plug-in hybrid sports coupe, the i8, and a PHEV version of the third-generation X5 sports activity vehicle, both slated for a 2015 release.
BMW also recently evened out their lineup with the 4 Series Coupe and looks to go all out with an M4 for 2015, packing all of the performance you've come to expect from BMW's high-power mark.
Looks like Ford will start the next pony car war with a new Mustang for 2015. Inspired by the Evos concept, styling will be much more modern than its retro Camaro rival. Still, the Mustang will likely pack enough classic giddy-up power to please the faithful.
With a full-size luxury Cadenza on the way, Kia is certainly looking upmarket, but just how far? Maybe this chorus will give us an indication. Arriving for 2015, this luxury liner will certainly take the brand to new heights. Will buyers follow?
Small luxury utilities are the hot new segment, and Mercedes-Benz hopes to have one of the hottest with the GLA. Sliding below the GLK, this A-Class based GLA will sport 2-liter turbo power, a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission, and 4MATIC all-wheel drive for the 15 model year.
And potentially adding future fuel to this luxury segment are design exercises from 3 other premium brands. First from Lexus, where their LF NX concept takes the brand's spindle grille design language to an extreme and is rumored to feature an SUV-tuned hybrid powertrain. Jaguar teased the CX-17, the brand's first ever crossover effort, offering gas and diesel power and a Hilux interior.
And then there is Audi, who is promoting this radical Nanook Quattro concept, suggesting their plan for a lightweight V10 turbo diesel crossover. Yes, please.
Nissan also hopes to keep sporty utility sales resonating, and this resonance concept gives us a peek at what the next-gen Murano will look like.
All of these cars are proof that no matter how exciting this year's cars are, there's always something more exciting just around the bend.
We hope you enjoyed that peek at what's ahead in the automotive future, as well as our look at all of the cars, trucks, and utilities that are new for 2014.
We've certainly enjoyed bringing them all to you. Joe, it's been a great ride.
It's been fun, John.
And so for all of us at Motor Week and Cars.com, thanks for joining us for New Car Preview 2014. Jag, Corbett.
For more information on New Car Preview 2014, visit our website at newcarpreview.org. To order a DVD of this program, call 1-800-873-6154. This program was produced by Maryland Public Television and Cars.com, which is solely responsible for its content.